Okay, so this is going to be just a short flight. We're going to be flying IFR from Bremerton National to Boeing Field. I'm just going to hop across Puget Sound. It's a nasty day. Nasty day in Bremerton. We're in a Piper Archer 2. This is the Carenado Piper Archer 2. The main reason for doing this video is testing out my new microphone setup. I wanted to get something that sounded a little bit more realistic to how your voice sounds over an aviation headset. So I got the worst mic that I have in my collection. It's basically literally a toy microphone, and I did some frequency tweaking in my studio software, and I'm actually running the mic through my studio software in the background, and that's what's creating this effect on my voice. So anyway, this isn't going to be a tutorial flight or anything like that. It's not going to be a review for the aircraft. Again, this is just to determine the viability of what I'm doing. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2004. Yep, I know it's almost 20 years old, but I love it. So anyway, let me go ahead and get clearance. Now I can actually say, pilot things like, let's see, we're going to request an IFR clearance, so, just making sure that I'm just looking at all my gauges and everything, making sure everything is good. I don't want to miss anything. Okay, yeah, my pitot heat is on, all my lights are on, so, okay, Bremerton clearance, this is Piper, November 285, Delta Foxtrot, requesting IFR clearance from Bremerton National to Boeing Field.
Piper, November 285, Delta Foxtrot is cleared to Boeing Airport as filed. Fly runway heading to climb and maintain 3000. Departure frequency is 127.1, squawk 0736.
Okay, climb and maintain 3,000 feet, departure on 121.7, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot, thank you.
Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot, read that correct. Contact ground on 123.05.
I already did the read back, so we had to wait for my virtual avatar to talk to clearance, but anyway. Okay, so let me see. So we're going to be flying an ILS into Boeing Field. So I've already got the ILS pre-selected. It's frequency 110.9 or 0. I'm going to go ahead and swap that in now because we'll need that pretty soon. I'm going to turn on my nav marker so it starts beeping when we're close enough. I'm not sure exactly what runway they're going to give me, so I'll worry about adjusting the OBS when we get a little bit closer. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get taxi clearance now. Bremerton ground, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot, request taxi to the active, departing IFR.
Piper November 285 Delta Foxtrot, taxi to and hold short of runway 19 via taxiway Alpha 1 Alpha. Contact tower on 123.05 when ready.
Taxi and hold short, runway 19er, contact tower when ready. 5 Delta Foxtrot. Okay, so that's going to be this way. So, make sure all my lights are on, ready to go. Yep. So let's go ahead and taxi to the active. In case anybody's wondering, I am using active camera for Flight Sim 2004, which was a great product back when it was supported. But again, this is all so old now that the guy that created it and supported it is no longer doing it. Like, you can't even You could email him, but you get no response. So it's considered to be abandonware now. So we are, I don't know, I guess it's legal to say that we can just distribute it freely. I know that when I had to reactivate it this last time that I rebuilt my computer, I had to resort to the internet and actually finding a crack for it because, like I said before, Serge, the guy that used to support this, hopefully he still exists, but he's definitely not online anymore. Well, he's not supporting this product anymore, so I had to find a crack to, I'm just rambling now. I had to find a crack to, you know what I'm trying to say, right? I'm trying to concentrate on airplane stuff and not doing a good job at talking about other stuff at the same time. Man, I really like this effect on my voice. It makes me feel much more official. We're taxing just a little fast here. Okay, so for any newbies that are out there, you hear me saying that we're going to be flying IFR. That stands for Instrument Flight Rules. Right now, the weather is not good enough to fly under what's called Visual Flight Rules, so we're going to be adhering to a much stricter set of principles that govern this flight. We're going to be using radio navigation, or in this case, we're going to be actually using GPS navigation because I'm just flying direct. This is so close that I don't have to use any waypoints or anything like that. And we'll be getting vectors along our short journey here to get us lined up with the runway. And then we'll follow the ILS down. That's the instrument landing system. And that will get us on the runway. So even if we couldn't see anything at all, we would still be able to get where we're going safely under instrument flight rules. I never got my instrument rating when I was flying for real, but I have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of simulated instrument time. I've been doing this since I was 12. So, you know, but well over 20 years I've been doing this. Okay, so let's do a quick run up. We're gonna run the engine up to 2,000 RPM, do the mag check. Come on, 2,000 RPM. Okay, check pitot heat. Okay, we got a slight RPM drop. Gonna go ahead and check the left mag. Slight drop, right mag. Back to both mags and close the throttle. Okay, let's put the auxiliary fuel pump on. Okay, and now let's look really quick and see what our vector out of here is going to be. So our heading is going to be 064. So we're going to take off and we're going to make a turn to left and fly out of here. Towards Boeing Field. All right, so here we go. All right, Bremerton Tower, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot is ready to go, runway 19er.
Piper November 285 Delta Foxtrot cleared for takeoff, runway 19er.
Clear for takeoff, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. take a look at my elevator trim one more time. I made some updates to the coding of the way the elevator trim works. So I need to trim down just a little bit. Trim to about 10 degrees or so. Probably not even that much, but 8. Let's just try 8. Okay, here we go. Alright, full throttle and we're rolling. Looking for 55 knots. It's 55. And we're up. Okay, looking for 76 knots. Trimming the plane for 76 knots.
Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Contact Seattle departure on 127.1.
Contacting departure on 121.7 Foxtrot 5 Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Good day. Seattle departure Delta Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot is climbing through 1500 for 3000, headed to Boeing Field, IFR.
Alaska 82, contact Seattle approach on 120.1. Piper November 285 Delta Foxtrot, Seattle departure, roger. Current altimeter 2974. Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot, you are 20 miles west. Turn right heading 355, climb and maintain 3000. Expect vectors ILS, runway 13, right approach. Going to 120.1, Alaska 82.
Turn right heading 355, climb and maintain 3000. Expect vectors ILS, runway 13 right approach, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Alright, here's 3,000 feet. Go ahead and get us set up for cruise. I thought for sure that they were going to have us roll out to the left, but we're going to head north first. So we're going to be coming in runway 13 right, so we're going to go ahead and switch the OBS to our runway heading, which is going to be 131. Pull the throttle back a little bit more. Alright, so we've got the OBS right there, set to our runway heading. And now we're just going to sit here and chill. So you notice that I can't see anything outside of the aircraft right now, aside from, you know, just maybe out the side here. Oh no, we literally can't see anything. So I'm of course using. I'm gaining a little bit of altitude here. So I'm using the artificial horizon and my instruments completely to maintain my situational awareness. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my fuel pump. Okay, I really need to get back down to 3,000 feet exactly. And then maintaining heading 355. So 3,000 feet, heading 355. And we're just going to maintain this altitude and heading until they tell us otherwise. Can't tell if that's water down there or land. The visibility is so bad. Look at my GPS. Nah, we're still over land a little bit. Well, this is good. I'm extremely pleased with the way the mic sounds. It's pretty cool. Very novel. So what we're doing right now, you can see that, I know I said this wasn't going to be a tutorial or anything, but if you look at the GPS right here, this is where we're going. That pink line, that's the direct course to Boeing Field. And you can see that we're heading up north. So what they're doing is they're sending us on an intercept course. And we're going to intercept the ILS, which are these green feathers right here. We're going to intercept that up here, so we got plenty of time to turn in and latch on to the glide slope, which will take us down to the runway. So we're not flying directly at the airport, but we're flying directly at the intercept point for the ILS. And by staying at 3,000 feet, we're going to fly under Seattle's airspace. So this is a pretty straightforward approach. There isn't really any trick to it. You just fly the heading and the altitude that they give you, and you'll end up in the right place. Yeah, this setup that I've got for the mic is actually, it's surprisingly realistic. I really like it. You get a little crackle that breaks through every now and then, and you can hear a little bit of that crackling in the background when I'm talking, just like the radio static that you hear when you're actually talking through a headset. And the mic only triggers when you talk into it. That's called a noise gate. Looks like we might break out on top of the clouds a little bit here. Okay, I'm gonna pull up an approach plate on my phone really quick. Just review it really fast here.
Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Turn right heading 040.
Turn right heading 040, Piper 5 Delta
Turn right
Foxtrot.
heading 070.
Turn right heading 070, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Alright, there's heading 070. Well, hold on. I overshot it just a little. Alright, so I'm looking at the approach plate, and the exact heading for the runway is actually 135. Yeah, on the approach plate, it's actually runway 14 right. This is so old. And I don't have an update scenery for updated scenery for Boeing Field. So it still has the old runway number, but the heading will be the same. Okay.
Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Turn left heading 045.
Turn left heading 045, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot.
Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Contact Seattle approach sun 120.1.
120.1, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Good day. Seattle approach, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot with you.
Piper, November 285 Delta Foxtrot, Seattle approach, roger, current altimeter 2974.
Alright, so we're basically, they've got us set up kind of like on base leg to the runway at this point.
601, you are 31 miles north, turn left, heading 185, descend and maintain 1,900. Cleared
ILS frequency.
Runway 16 left approach, maintain 1,900 until established on the localizer. Contact
This is
Seattle
110.9.
19.9er. Turn left, heading 185, descend and maintain 1,900. Cleared ILS, runway 16 left approach, maintain 1,900 until established. Tower on 119.9er, Alaska 601. Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot, you are 19er miles northwest, turn right, heading 110, descend and maintain 2,200. Cleared ILS, runway 13 right approach,
There's so much traffic.
2,500 for 9,000. Delta 232 Heavy, Seattle departure, roger. Altimeter 2977.
Turn right heading 110, descend and maintain 2200. Cleared ILS runway 13 right approach. Maintain 2200 until established. Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot.
Delta 232 Heavy, turn left heading 010. Resume on navigation. Climb and maintain 9,000.
Boeing Tower, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot, 17 miles northwest inbound ILS, runway 13 approach.
Piper November 285 Delta Foxtrot, Boeing Tower. Fly straight in, runway 13 right, altimeter 2974.
Fly straight in, 13 right, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Alright, so we're going to maintain this heading until this needle on the OBS swings into the middle. That's going to be our ILS, which represents the center line of the runway. Alright, so we're at 2,200 feet. I'm going to go ahead and give us a little bit more power and maintain about 2,100 RPM. We want to keep about 90 knots or so. And turn off that annoying Morse code. That's the identifier for the runway. That's just so I can confirm that we've got the localizer. So I've switched it off for now. Oh, you know what? We haven't done any external views this flight. Let's look at our beautiful steed. This is like a mid-70s Piper Archer II. It's very beautiful, very simple. It's a stable little training platform. Nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. It's fun to fly them every now and then. Just the autopilot disconnect and the autopilot on while we were looking outside. GPS really quick here. I feel like it's possible that we actually overshot the ILS. That was my mistake. Because I still had us in GPS instead of nav mode. What a rookie mistake. I don't usually fly this thing in IFR conditions. That's what 737s are for. So this is a good little exercise for me, actually. Okay, and then we're gonna be waiting for the glide slope to come down too, and that's what this other needle is. When that comes down to the middle, that means that we are on what's called the glide slope. So as long as we follow that, that'll keep us descending at the correct angle to eventually end up on the runway. All right, so just gonna follow the localizer now. Following the localizer. And we've got just a very slight crosswind, actually. It's not, that's not going to make us drift off course too much. As long as we can keep our heading up, we'll be okay. All right, we need to slide left just a little bit. I don't know if we're going to get to see the runway before we're on it. Okay, the glide slope's starting to come down to us. You can see it's kind of starting to drop here, so as soon as that line is level, we'll go ahead and start descending. And then we're just going to try to keep it lined up. Yeah, admittedly, I'm used to having way more creature comforts. Usually if I'm flying IFR in a light aircraft, I'm in something like my Baron, which has much greater IFR capabilities than this. This is very archaic, so this is good practice for me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and chop the power down to about 1800 RPM, and we're gonna go ahead and start our descent. Ah, there's the runway right there. Okay, so we'll be able to do a sort of visual approach. So we can see it, but we'd be able to get there safely, even if we couldn't, because we're following the ILS. I'm going to descend at about 500 feet per minute while maintaining 90 knots. Yeah, that seems to be good. As you can see, when the glide slope moves up, that means that we're below the glide slope. If the glide slope is under us, that means that we're above it. So we want to keep it right in the middle there. But we also have, since we can see the runway, we have the benefit of these lights right over here. The white and the red lights you can see right there. The precision approach indicators. So when you've got two whites and two reds, that means that you're on glide slope. If they're all red, that means you're too low. If they're all white, that means you're too high. There's Seattle. Space Needle right there. Experience Music Project. They call that something different now. I don't know what they call it now, but it used to be the Experience Music Project.
Cleared to land, runway 13 right.
Cleared to land, run 13 right, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Okay, our vision's starting to get a little more obscured here. We're losing visual on the runway, so back to looking at the ILS indicator right here. All right, we got about 80 knots. I'm gonna go ahead and put out a notch of flaps. I'll slow us down just a little bit. All right. Gonna put out that last, the second notch of flaps. Okay, we got 70 knots. We're right on glide slope here. We can kind of see the runway again. I'm going to add some power. Kind of arrest our descent a little bit. You can sort of see the runway again. Okay, let me give it that last notch of flaps. Pitot heat, not pitot heat, carburetor heat on. Shows you how often I fly this plane. My pitot heat is also incidentally on. All right, we're looking for about 65 knots on short final here, which we've got. Yeah, this is much different than flying, you know, like a standard go around the circuit approach. That's 65 knots. All right. So see, those lights are all white now. So we're a little bit high, so I'm gonna chop the power just a little bit. Auxiliary fuel pump is on because we do not want an engine out right now. Pull the power out, gentle flare, and we're down. Ta-da!
Exit runway when able.
All right, got the flaps up. Strobes off, turn my landing lights off. let's go ahead and get off the runway.
Exit runway when able.
They're waiting for me to get off the runway. I don't see a whole lot of traffic here, though.
Hybrid 5 Delta Foxtrot, contact ground on 121.9er.
Contact ground on 121.9er, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot. Boeing ground Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot, request taxi to parking.
Piper November 285 Delta Foxtrot, taxi to general aviation parking. Getting taxiway Nelson Warp Alpha.
Taxi to general aviation parking, Piper 5 Delta Foxtrot, can I get progressive taxi? Progressive taxi is now this pink line, which doesn't exist in the real world, but you can ask ground controllers for progressive taxi in the real world, and they will guide you around an unfamiliar airport. They don't generally like to do that, but I am not worried about annoying virtual controllers. I can't remember the last time that I flew into Boeing Field. I only picked it because it was so close to Bremerton, which is where I flew into the other day. So let's go ahead and I hope that I hope the general aviation parking is close. I hate it when they send you to the other end of the airport to park. Because airports are big spaces. I don't think a lot of people realize that a runway like this is like 2 miles long. Which isn't very far when you're actually, flying, but when you're taxiing on the ground and you can't taxi any faster than 20 knots, which is what the rule is, 2 miles is a long way. Yeah, they're gonna send me to the other end of the airport. You can just stop watching now if you want. I don't know, you probably stopped watching a long time ago. Okay, this is 13 left. We're gonna stop at the hold short line, make sure that there's nobody coming, like you do. I'm gonna go ahead and resume my taxi. Okay, it looks like GA parking's it's not too far away. It's not too far away. All right, so that was a good little flight. That was good practice shooting an ILS in the little Archer with its quaint old-fashioned gauges. I mean, this thing doesn't even have a heading bug on the gyro heading indicator. It's very, you gotta hold a lot more information in your head than if you had a fully integrated HSI, which is, again, it's one of those things that we get spoiled with over the years as technology increases. It's important to remember how to do it the old-fashioned way. But, old-fashioned. I mean, we called this old-fashioned when I just did old-fashioned. It's like I remember when my grandpa flying just after World War II, when ILS was not even a thing yet, and then landing, massive propeller-driven bombers. He flew the B-29 in Korea, and then he flew the C-124 Globemaster II all around the Pacific after that cargo plane, for those of you that don't know your airplanes. And him talking about, before ILS, they had literally the controller telling them if they were quote-unquote on beam or not. Basically, the controller had an ILS type thing, but it wasn't installed in the aircraft. The aircraft had like a transmitter, so so the controller could see where they were on their visual representation they had of the ILS. And go ahead and just turn the airplane off now. And them actually verbally telling the pilot which way to turn, like nose left, nose right, nose up, nose down. So they were guided in by voice. Anyway, that was kind of rambly, but anyway, that was fun. That was a nice little flight. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll be making more of these soon. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my recorder. Bye-bye. Love you.